My name is Ariel Zorilla. I am the agriculture director at Preferred by Nature. I am in charge of the soy as a commodity that we want to focus as well. We want to work with soy because it's a relevant commodity that we humans consume for several purposes, but one of the main drivers for deforestation, mainly in tropical and subtropical countries. So it's one of our objectives is to work against deforestation. And later there are some other complex situations with soy, but the main one is about avoiding deforestation. So far, we are having field work in Europe, in Serbia, working with soy farmers, etc. We have started this year. We expect to increase our engagement with soy in Europe for the next years, and later in other countries like Brazil, Argentina, etc. We are about to start working in the field, promoting best practices and bringing together stakeholders, etc. in the very next future. Those are the mainly, ground fields that we see for our development. But later in the supply chain, the traceability system, etc., is very well connected from South America to Europe, and South America and Africa, China, and United States as well. Our main focus so far is to understand which are our opportunities in this sector with soy. The soy sector is, let's say, considering several certification schemes, several large companies working with sustainability, etc. And so far, what we want to do is to map everything that is around soy and to understand which is our, let's say, focus for the next 5 years to really bring an impact to the development of this commodity. So in addition to that, we are increasing our capacities in let's say production countries like Brazil. So far we are starting mapping the situation with soy as a commodity, but another relevant level to us is the political level from the buyer perspective, and this is about Europe, and we are becoming more active on understanding the new regulation that we are expecting to have in place very, very soon, and to understand who are the main importers to Europe, because we expect a real pressure from those importers to Europe to the production countries somewhere else. But there are more than 20 certification schemes for soy. One is, let's say, global, many others are regional, etc. In addition to this, several large companies have their own sustainability approach, to soy production. So I never seen, let's say, a credible information about the number of hectares under sustainable production. But something that I want to highlight here is about best practices is sustainable practices from now to the future. But what we want to focus is on avoiding deforestation as well. Nowadays, we see a real risk for, let's say, a global increasing of deforestation area to cultivate, to grow more soy, not only because of the demand, which is growing like every year, but because of the price. The international price has reached one of the maximum in history for soy, very close to the maximum. So for many, let's say, production countries, this is extremely relevant, that they should be very careful about the expansion of new areas for agriculture due to the international price of soy. Regarding the scale and our expected impact, as I said before, we are just starting with soy. So we expect to have a real impact, but for that, I cannot tell you now which is our expectation, but as we are expecting to engage ourselves more in production countries, and we have, let's say, a good understanding of the supply chains from soy to Europe, and because of the new regulation to avoid deforestation, I mean, to just bring deforestation-free soy to Europe, we understand that part. We have a lot of our resources are based in Europe. We expect to have a real, let's say, good and great impact in the soy supply chain as a whole. The challenges that we foresee so far are very diverse. So we can separate the challenges that we see at the production level, later in the supply chain, and the importation as well. So it's like many other commodities as well. So it has a very diverse matrix, let's say. So there are thousands of producers per country. Something that is different to other commodities is that mainly soy is mainly for medium to big producers. So you need a really very good scale to get a profitable business as a farmer, you know. So in the number of farmers involved is lower than other commodities, but still very relevant in surface. And other than that, the soy cultivation has, let's say, a biological demand of sun, rainfall, soil characteristics, etc. That is very, I mean, because of that, the pressure on other natural resources like grassland, jungle, primary forests, etc., is very high, because new soils give you better yield with less fertilizer consumption. Fertilizers now are extremely high in price, so that's why that's another challenge for, another threat for natural resources, that you have, as a farmer, you have, let's say, limited resources to buy fertilizers with new prices. So better to go for new soils. New soils means conversion most of the time. And conversion many times means deforestation or conversion of grassland, which are, anyway, they are not jungle, but they have biological value as well, environmental value. So at the farmer level, the challenges are very different from the supply chain challenges. In the supply chain, it's traceability. It's a commodity, so mostly the farmers deliver the commodity, the soy, to a port or to a trader, and the trader put the soybean in the ship, and the ship can go to different places, and in the ship you mix with different suppliers to that supply chain as well. So it's the traceability is something not that easy for such a commodity, but normally, and big volumes as well, So that's another situation, but we know that there are some, let's say, technology that can ensure that the origin of the soy that we are evaluating can be proved with a double check source, not only sending somebody to follow up the supply chain, the circuit system. I would say that sustainable soy, as a statement, is something that is happening at least for 20 years, let's say. However, I am more confident now than in the past, but not only because of the standard, not at all. What I understand is that the public, the people who is, the consumers, end consumers are more concerned about sustainability and the future of the planet, etc. And every time that the end consumer pull the chain to make changes, that used to happen, So in several production countries that I know personally because of my job, there are many improvement in the legal framework to avoid deforestation. It's not perfect at all. In one of the biggest countries, unfortunately, that framework has changed in the last 4 years. But still, I would say that we need to be, we should be positive that this legal framework can push people to demonstrate, farmers to demonstrate that they are really producing in a sustainable way and avoiding deforestation. Sorry to say again, but deforestation normally is not considered under the sustainability concept as the farmer assume it is. For farmers, sustainability means good practices, but deforestation is before that. In most of the cases for soy production in new land, So we need to work together with several other organizations, with governments as well, and of course with big trading company, because they can make the difference. And I am extremely sure that they are very concerned about this as well. I would say that I am confident that they are aware of the importance of working with more sustainability. I still need to see, let's say, more bright lights that they are working towards sustainability, So I would say yes, and not that positive for the second one, but of course that we are here to try to make a change. So we want to work with companies that are really commit to make this difference and to change the soy production, not only at the farm level, but in the traceability as well.